The series of automatic spending cuts known as the sequester set to hit just 2 weeks from tomorrow. Senate Democrats releasing an alternative plan today calling for $55 billion in new taxes on the wealthy, of course. It's fair. Republicans claiming the plan is dead on arrival. House Speaker Boehner placing the blame squarely on the president.
We passed a bill twice to replace the sequester. Our position's very clear. We've outlined it. It's time for the Senate to do their work. The sequester is there because the president insisted that it be there. Where's the president's plan to replace the sequester that he insisted upon?
Well, joining us now, co-host of The Five on Fox News Channel, Andrea Tantaros, and she is the new it girl for Fox News. I think we've got to get that out there. Fox News political analyst, columnist for The Hill, Juan Williams, who's a fine fellow, but he ain't the it guy. No, you're the it guy. Come on. Good to have you both here. Let me start, if I may, Andrea, with you, and that is, Boehner looks to me like a man who's found his voice and grounded himself for battle.
I think the right wing of the Republican Party has helped him find the voice, particularly after the fiscal cliff. Lou, I don't think there was any way that Boehner could take any other position. And all the Republicans I've talked to have said, this is the best we're going to get with the sequester. We're not going to get any cuts without these. It's not great, but it's a good start. It was the president's idea, so we're going to sit back. We're going to let them happen. And they're absolutely right. This is dead on arrival. The Senate can do it. The Senate can do whatever it wants. It's not going to go anywhere.
You agree, Juan?
I think that it's bad politics. I'll say that, and I think it's bad for the country. But it looks to me like, you know, Lou, somebody's in a hole, and the person in the hole here is the Republican Party, and some reason they keep digging deeper. I just think the American people will react to the sequester with alarm. I think they'll see that it, you know, slows up the defense industry in this country, worsens our defense capabilities. I think they'll see what it does in terms of education, first responders, health care in the country.
Then why did the president propose it, Juan?
Well, at the time it was proposed, it was, of course, not only supported by Speaker Boehner, Andrea, but it was supported by most Republicans on Capitol Hill, the Republicans. So, I mean, it wouldn't have been possible unless the Republicans had embraced it.
So why not just let the cuts take place? I mean, House Republicans have passed 2 versions of a replacement bill. The White House hasn't even touched them or looked at them. So this is a debacle that I would argue, Lou, that the Democrats created themselves.
Well, you know, Andrea's right about part of this one, certainly, and that is that the president, the White House, authored the sequester. It is the only bipartisan piece of work I've seen, true bipartisan work, both parties agreeing on the sequester. And the Democrats and the president, who the president, as you know, said it's just not going to happen. He promised the American people that last year, and here we are moving 2 weeks to the day to it happening.
Well, it's not the only bipartisan. Remember, we just went past the fiscal cliff January 1. They got a bipartisan deal there to avoid that.
Well, the Republicans, I think you could argue, had President Obama his trusty gun to their head.
Well, it's just politics. I mean, everybody's playing hardball, but I think Republicans have played hardball for a long time. Yeah. And on this one, I think that they are, again, digging themselves deeper in a hole because I think they're in a posture where the president doesn't want to do the sequester. They say they don't want to do the sequester, but guess what? They say, you know, we won't get this many domestic cuts unless we do it, and we're going to take advantage of it, and we're going to push the president on this unless he comes back to the table and gives us far more in terms of real spending cuts.
But, Juan, the Senate Democratic replacement bill is even worse. It hurts soldiers. It hurts farmers. It hurts flyover country. I mean, how could you argue this is a good bill?
Let me turn to Senator Feinstein.
It's a one-for-one deal. I mean, they have 50% cuts and they have 50% new revenue. I think most Americans see that as a balanced approach.
It sounds so attractive the way you express it, Juan. If we can turn to Senator Feinstein, here is the leading Democrat, the leading senator on intelligence in the United States Senate saying, John Brennan isn't going forward for a week until we get answers on Benghazi, till we understand what is happening here. Juan, would you have ever expected that fissure to occur in your party?
Well, first of all, I'm a Democrat, but I'm not speaking here as a representative of the party. But I will say this: it's not a surprise to me.
Can we put you down as leaning?
No, I'm a registered Democrat, Lou. I don't know about you and Andrea, but I'm glad to tell you
I'm
that.
an independent.
But I'm saying,
Do you really
what?
need to ask me, Juan? Is it really a
No,
secret?
I know what
Okay.
you guys are, but if you, Lou wanted to make a point of it for the audience, go right ahead. But I'm telling you, as someone who's here in Washington and analyzing politics for you, that what surprises me is not the demand, especially on Chuck Hagel, for more information with regard, I think, especially to what's going on in Syria and Iran. What surprises me is that they are willing to do this at a time when, again, people are going to say, you guys admit you're going to end the cloture, you're going to allow the vote, you're going to approve this guy in a week. Why do you play politics endlessly?
What a short memory you have. I know Democrats don't like to bring this up, but they blocked George H.W. Bush's nominee for the Department of Defense decades ago for drinking too much and because he behaved inappropriately with women. All these senators are asking is for a little more information and maybe an extra week or two. What's the problem with this? We have 4 dead Americans. They dragged their feet the months after Benghazi. Had they answered those questions, we wouldn't have to have this now.
This is rhetoric. I mean, you guys will say the fact that you have a war going on in Afghanistan, the fact that we have Americans
have a war
under fire, and you're saying we don't need a Secretary of Defense?
I don't think anybody
and we're going to give it to you in a week. What's the big deal? Just go ahead and wait.
Juan, if I may, just one last question as we wrap up here. What is Leon Panetta's job? Isn't he the Secretary of Defense?
You forget that Leon Panetta has basically retired. In fact, today he went home to California.
Oh, no. He's pledged actually to stay as Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, right. But look, he's gone. What they need now is somebody to take control, make this happen. He was supposed to leave. I don't know if he actually got on the plane, but he was supposed to leave as of this afternoon.
So maybe the president shouldn't head to Palm Beach? I mean, it sounds like heavy lifting. The only thing he's going to be heavy lifting are some blue Hawaiians.
Stop.
And Juan, by your reasoning, by the way, by your reasoning, the country didn't have Secretary of Defense, anyone filling that post while Leon Panetta was home on weekends in California. It's going to be we're going to have to see if we can dock his pay or something. Thank you, Juan. I appreciate it. Andrea,
you're welcome, guys. Have a good night.